Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? Welcome to Sunday Stories with Coach Mike Young. This is episode 4. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and leave a comment, so we know what you guys like, what you want, what else you want to hear. Gives me more ideas of what else to put. All right. So today's Sunday story, I'm going to talk about being in the hospital during the holidays. So Thanksgiving's coming up, and I was in the hospital during Thanksgiving when I was 14. So when I first went in the hospital, it was September. I don't remember the date anymore. And then I left at the end of March. I believe it was the end of March, early April. I don't exactly remember. But so I was in the hospital for all those holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all that stuff. And I'll talk about more about that later. So, growing up, Latino, Mexican, Ecuadorian, our families always got together in the holidays, and we always, split up. So we would go to my mom's side, go to my dad's side, and it was, we always did it together. So it was very weird for me to be in the hospital during this time, and especially as a kid, I was a young teenager, but still, luckily my family, what they did was they surprised me, and on Thanksgiving, and I think for like lunchtime, they all came. We're at the bottom at Children's Hospital, at the old Children's Hospital. We're at the cafeteria. It was empty. We had it to ourselves, and I was able to have it with my family. It was more just to be around them than it was like to eat and stuff, because I was on a strict diet and I couldn't really indulge in a lot of that stuff. But I'll talk more about that later. But right now I'm talking about just the mentality it was to be in there during the holidays, and it was weird. It was, for me, I remember at that time, I already got nurses that I liked a lot, and there was like guy Carlos. He was like my favorite nurse during the day. This guy Mark was another really cool nurse, and then there was a couple other ladies, but Mark and Carlos were like my two favorite, and there's some other ones, and I'll talk about them later, the different nurses. And that day they gave me this lady that I'd never seen before. It was like I'd never seen her there, and I was pissed off because I didn't want that person to be my nurse. And for whatever reason, I was more stable at that time, and the other nurses had to be with other people. But I remember as a kid, I was pretty upset, and we went to, they took me down to the it was like in the basement where the cafeteria was, and I was able to spend like an hour or so, I don't remember how long, with my family. And I had a couple pictures, but they all came out blurry for some reason. I'm gonna try to share some pictures, with you guys, if I could find some good ones. I've been looking for some, and I remember because Thanksgiving was like the first real holiday. Like I really not a big Halloween person, but they did do stuff for the kids and everybody there, at Children's Hospital. So the hospital itself, they always made it great, as great as it can be for the patients. And, and then it's all about how you take it. And, so it was awesome that my family they were there. One side of my family was there, the other side wasn't there. And that was a whole nother issue. But, for the most part, where, they they came together for me, which was awesome. And I remember talking to my sister later, because me and my sister would talk, and they went to my uncle's house after, and then they kind of said like how it went and everything. And my mom stayed with me that day, and that was my Thanksgiving. That was like my first real holiday at the hospital. And then it was just so many things, like, which I'll talk about, Christmas at the hospital, New Year's at the hospital, all of these, but it was just week after week, month after month. And it was, it was an adjustment, and, but your life changes when you're that sick, and, you either cry about it or you get stronger and you get better, I don't know how has anybody else dealt with it. Please, if any of you have been in the hospital during the holidays, let me know how that was. I've probably been in the hospital altogether almost a full year, if you count all the different times I've been in and out and everything. But it really isn't that bad. Like that the times when I was in the hospital, that long stretch of time, it was rough. It was very rough. But when you're so sick, you're just trying to survive, and the holidays are rough in the hospital. It really puts things in perspective, and and that's why, like, I give it up to all the nurses, all the nurses, doctors, everything. They do a great job, especially at these children's hospitals and adult hospitals. They, for the most part, I had excellent care every time I've been in the hospital. There's been a couple times where I didn't really care for the nurses or whatever, but that's not saying that they didn't give me excellent care. They just, I'm not the most, outgoing person at times, but I do try my best. I do try my best now. I try better. Before, as a kid, I really probably didn't care. But yeah, so in the hospital during the holidays, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough for children. I think it's a little different. I was 14, so I was right at that age where I think I was able to like deal with it better than if I was a little younger. But I think it all it's all how strong you are, and how you cope with things. What I learned from that is just how strong I am. I'm able to like handle things, I think, very well. And it's one of those things where if you know somebody that's in the hospital at these times, give them a call, give them a text. That's the one thing I would say to anybody. People in the hospital, it's a lonely time. It's a lonely time being in the hospital during the holidays. It really, it's rough. And somebody that's in there or something like that, or just if they're sick, give them a call, send a text message, and yeah. And the last thing I would say about that is, it's rough, but we're so resilient, as people. As long as you don't let things get to you too much, like as long as your mental state is strong, there's nothing we can't overcome. And that's all I'll leave you with. I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving and great holidays. I'm gonna try to post another video on Thanksgiving if I'm able, another Sunday story or whatever I'll call it. And but I just hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Be safe, with COVID. I'm not saying don't go with your family, don't do whatever you're gonna do, but just be safe, be smart, and I wish everybody, blessings and, have a great time. All right, see y'all later.